It's I guess it's easy for as a coach to always look at the stuff you didn't do well, and we'll look at film and certainly want to get better in some areas. But I thought we were incredible when it mattered most. I think we were down late in almost every set, and found a way to lock in. And I'm proud of just hanging tough when things weren't going our way. And I thought, Liv played great offensively, and I thought Brooke set a really nice match in terms of location, and then her play at the net I thought was a factor too. She had 5 kills, and it seemed like every one of them were like a time we really needed her to score a point. So big win for our program. We know there's still a lot of season left, but we're feeling grateful the day before Thanksgiving.
Olivia, down by at least 2 points in every single one of the sets. What flipped for you guys that allowed you in each of the sets to, close it out?
Yeah, I think something we talk about often is just being good after 20. And I feel like up until when we got there, we knew we weren't playing our best volleyball, but we also knew that was the time to flip the switch. It's really just about how you finish. And I feel like at the end, we were able to go on really good service runs. And I don't think whoever was serving kind of shied off. I feel like we applied pressure on the service line. So we were putting them out of system. And then that's when our defense was probably at its best during the match. So I feel like those factors definitely.
Well, how do you know when you're catching them off guard or able to hit one behind your head?
For that one, I'll say, she works with me every day, kind of said at one point, Brooke, you got to stop giving them free balls if you're going to dump. So she was quite literally in my brain in that moment, so I knew I had to put it down. But other than that, I think the passing in those moments was great, so I was able to see what was going on the other side of the net.
Dan, what did you notice from your team when they were down in each of those sets? What did you notice that they were doing that was like, okay, we're going to come back?
Well, we were getting frustrated because, quite frankly, they're a good passing team, and I thought we got them in some trouble, and we had them out of system that we just weren't really timing our block and defense very well. So I think there was just a feeling of, hey, we're gonna get one. Something else I thought we did better as the match went on, and as I'm looking at the stats, I thought we started out pretty shaky in serve receive, and I thought it got a lot better as the match went. And I'm just seeing here that we had 7 aces. So yeah, having more aces than them is huge.
Olivia, Louisville's second in the nation with blocks per set, but you guys outblocked them 10-6 today. What were you guys doing well offensively to avoid their block?
Yeah, I feel like we were just hitting high and finding good angles. I mean, they were getting good block touches, but I think that we were swinging high, and that's just something we work on, trying not to swing low into the block, because that's where we obviously give them some blocks. And then I feel like some plays we could have covered more, but there were some plays that we did cover, which obviously does help. So I think that's where it was.
Dan, what did you think of Haiti in that last service run in the first set? It really seemed like that was a huge moment for the whole match.
That was crazy.
Well, sometimes, as coaches, you can overthink it, and she hadn't gone on a really long service run in a while, and that was a kind of a conversation the coaching staff had. We're like, hey, she was due, and it couldn't have been at a better time, and she had a really good practice yesterday, and good for her.
How much is the closing of the sets just experiences you have throughout the season that leads to what you guys are doing now?
That's a great question. I think I think you all saw it, that again, they're experienced too. I mean, they've been in a lot of tight sets, but I don't think either team was freaking out in those moments like maybe your team might at the start of the year. So I think there is a level of knowing you've been in that before.
Olivia, in that second set, obviously, most people when they see you serve, they're expecting that topspin serve, but obviously this year you transition more to a regular float serve. But in that second set, towards the end, you do get those aces. You are able to eventually get the set win for your team. I mean, how important is that just for you, getting that and showing people, yes, I can do this, I can do anything that's asked of me to help win this match?
Yeah, I think it is. I think the reason I was so excited about it is because it is something that we've been working on a lot, and we've been working on serving like under elastics that our serves are more clean. And I feel like today I was just more comfortable hitting the ball harder, and I feel like just all of the practice that we've put in this week has reflected. So I was nice that I was able to put some pressure on because I know I was kind of frustrated about that.
Brooke, how advantageous is it to have a hitter like Olivia that you know you can give the ball and it's probably going to hit the floor, not all the time, but how beneficial is that, especially when you need a side out?
Just gives me confidence to be able to run when I need to, and I know that Liv is a great player, and I can always count on her, and she knows that she can count on me too.
Brooke and Olivia, you could tell that the energy was pretty palpable in the Pitt today. You had a crowd of almost 8,000 the day before Thanksgiving. We showed a picture to Dan earlier, people lining up outside in 30-degree weather. How does the atmosphere really contribute to the big moments when you're on the court?
You know, I think there was a part during the game when we noticed that the crowd was really engaged, and I think seeing that the crowd is having our back gives us a lot more fire, especially, you know, during those games that maybe we're down a little bit. I think that gives us just that little bit of an edge too.
I agree, and just adding on to that, I feel like just like us, we were playing our best at the end of the set, and I feel like that's when the crowd was giving the most energy, so I feel like we were able to feed off of each other.
Dan, when High T came in to serve, you took Brooke out and put out another pin hitter. What advantages do you think that gave you to have 4 hitters on the floor?
Yeah, it's a little wonky, but we've seen Blair be a really effective right side blocker, and then Sophie, it gives us Sophie in her a natural position where she can in transition we have a really powerful arm, and I thought the end of that first set, High T went pin to pin. And then finally she set the pipe and it was wide open. So I think she managed it pretty well.
How do you think? I saw you put Emery in there in that first set, kind of mixed between her and Mallory throughout the rest of the match. What did you think of that?
Yeah, Mallory, she thanked me after the match for getting mad at her. I don't remember getting mad at her, but I think she needed a break. She was a little amped up, and then we kind of went with a double libero, just Mallory serve receive and Emery on defense, and Emery came up with some. There was a huge dig in the third set. And that's something we've kind of tinkered with all year. That's a possibility for us. Every time we've done it, they've both done a really good job with it.
Brooke, it was early in the second set, but there was a play in which the ball went almost into the audience. Izzy got it, then you got it, and then it went to Abby. What can you say about Abby's defense, especially in this game, big crowd as freshmen?
I think Abby's been able to step up in a lot of great ways. She doesn't really act like a freshman a lot of the times, and so it's easy to be able to know that she's going to make plays.
And as the players were asked, no school, 8,000, cold weather, Penguins game tonight. Is it hard not to? Do you take a second and think? I know you've been asked a lot about the crowds and the support, but about these type of nights.
Yeah, all I can say is it means a lot, and keep showing up, Pittsburgh. But I hope that. I think that the games we've had here against Louisville the last couple of years, I think they've been so exciting. There's good reason to come back, and the sport's growing, and it's cool to be. As people talk about volleyball nationally, that people talk about the fan support in Pittsburgh. It's pretty sweet.
Olivia, you're a big fan of this rivalry and big matches like this. This is the first time Pitt has swept Louisville since 2020. What does it mean to not only beat them, but to beat them in the manner that you guys did?
I didn't even know that. I think it means a lot. I think obviously this team played very good, and if you look at the scores, it was a very close game. So I feel like just the fact that we were able to pull through at the end means a lot, and I feel like this is just seeing our work pay off and reflect. It just means a lot.
Coach, on the defensive side of things, you had Olivia with 8 digs, Blair with 11, and then Marina with 12. What does it say? How advantageous is it to have such key hitters doing so well on the defensive side of things?
It's something we preach and we practice, is to be all-around players, and they were up for a while in the digs category. It ended up 52 to 51, and that's something that we pride ourselves in, and is being able to scrap, and we don't have a bad defender out there. So
And how impressive has it been in these past 2 seasons? You've been undefeated at home in the regular season. You've had a long streak since being 23. I mean, just making sure that this home is a fortress.
You guys say all these kind of stuff, and then then someone told me that, I think someone told me Louisville was undefeated coming into this on the road this season. So then I'm thinking, well, one of these is gonna. So yeah, I wish you guys wouldn't bring that stuff up, so I didn't think about it. But I think that goes along with our having a good home crowd, and it's a good sign for us, as we think about hosting in the tournament, and so yeah, we'd like to keep that going.
With tournament play coming up, how important was it for you guys to finish strong today and then continue to finish strong for the rest of the regular season?
Is that for me? Well, you don't want to over, you don't want to over get too high or too low ever in sports, obviously. And last year we were able to beat Louisville at Louisville, and they got us in the tournament. And so we know that in a tournament run, every game is going to be a different story and a nail biter. But it's definitely nice to be in close games and come out on top.